Hello, hyperspace. My name is Davontos, and it's time to get hyped, because this is going to be a little chat that I want to have about something that's going around the internet and a huge controversy about the game Overwatch. Now, you're actually watching some Broforce gameplay. You can actually get this game off the PlayStation Store for free, and today's actually your last day, Thursday, March 31st, because come tomorrow, I don't think you'll be able to get this game for free anymore. And this game is really fun. It's really worth it. But let's get on to this controversy. There's this huge argument going around the internet about a game called Overwatch. Now, if you're not familiar with Overwatch, it's this first-person shooter that kind of has a cartoonish look, kind of like Team Fortress, and it has a vast variety of colorful characters, and it seems like it's going to be a really fun game. And as far as I believe, the game is being published by Activision, which, you know, is responsible for Call of Duty, and they're also being working together with Blizzard, and Blizzard, I believe, is the company that made Blacklight Retribution. So you're going to have Call of Duty and Blacklight Retribution working together to create a new first-person shooter. Now, there's something that's going around, this huge controversy, and people are upset about it, and it's about an ass. Now, we've all seen ass at this point. We've either seen our own ass or we've seen someone else's ass. And it's about a character named Tracer. Now, let me display her photo right there. This is Tracer. Now, she is that's actually the pose that people are complaining about with that ass. Now, she's a happy-go-lucky kind of character, and people are saying her showing her off her ass like this doesn't fit her personality. Now, I'm going to go into a discussion of this. I'm going to say some parts that I agree, and why I understand where they're coming with this subject, and then I'm going to go on and rant about it. If you guys don't want to hear me rant, I would suggest you click away from the video. I won't be offended if you click away. I'm just telling you in advance, I'm going to rant, and I am going to bring up the ESRB rating system. So if you're aware of the ESRB rating system, and you are not following the rating system, and you are going to be offended, please click away from the video. I will not mind. So, let's talk about the good things about this. Where I see where they're coming from. They're saying, take out this pose, it doesn't fit her personality. So, okay, it doesn't fit her personality. She's a happy-go-lucky character, and this pose does seem kind of sexual. I believe she's supposed to be one of the younger females, but even still, you see she's not like 7 years old. She seems like an 18, 19, 20-year-old woman. So, but still, she's one of the younger ones. So it doesn't fit her personality. She's happy-go-lucky, and for her showing off her butt like this is a little weird. I can see where people are going with that. They're also saying that this is going to be a family-friendly game, and because of its cartoonish appeal, we know kids are going to be playing it, and they don't want their children to be exposed to this butt shot. That's completely understandable. I see where they're going with that as well. Now, they're also saying that now, the Blizzard Studios already confirmed that they understand what people are saying about this, and they already changed the pose, and once they changed the pose, it just made a huge controversy and argument for the people who wanted this pose. So now you're having an argument with Blizzard Studios, the people who are against it, and the people who want it. So now there's like 3 people arguing all at once. And so, here's where it gets a little weird. People are saying that it's too sexual. And I don't know why they would say it's too sexual. One, it's a video game that the graphics are very cartoony. And 2, it's just a butt. I mean, we've seen our own butts, and they even make fun of butts in child cartoons like SpongeBob SquarePants. But let me get to the part where I don't understand why people are saying what they say. First off, it's an ass, as I said many times. And they say they want this removed because of their kids playing this video game, because of its cartoony appeal. Now, let's talk about kids playing video games. This is where I'm going to start ranting on, so if you're going to feel offended, please click away. Each game has a rating system. Rated E, E10, T for teen, M for mature. Those are the most common games you're going to wind up seeing out there. There are some games that's rated AO for adult only, but that's very, very rare to find. And rated EC for early childhood, but that's also very, very rare to find. So, we have kids. Now, I'm a hardcore gamer. I play a lot of games. And I play a lot of rated M games because, well, I'm over 18 years old. And I can play rated M games. Rated M games like the popular Grand Theft Auto. Let's start with that one. Now, I don't know how many times I've played Grand Theft Auto online, and I happen to run into a 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, even like a 13-year-old playing Grand Theft Auto online. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Grand Theft Auto, it's a game where you play as a thief and you basically ruin and own whatever city the game happens to be taking place in. It could be in Los Angeles, it could be in New York, it could be Florida. Wherever the game takes place in, you're a thug and you basically rule the streets. Now, it sounds a little mature-ish to start from there, but the game gets worse. So parents, if you are watching this video, which I kinda hope that you are, know what your kids are playing. Grand Theft Auto has nudity and porn in it. And there are these kids, 10-year-old or however old, they're still children. They are playing this game and they are watching this nudity and stuff unfold in Grand Theft Auto. And I'm not also talking about the nudity. I can bring something like Call of Duty. A lot of kids play Call of Duty, to a point where Call of Duty is actually known to be full of raging children. Now, Call of Duty has bad language, which I understand some parents can let that slide. But Call of Duty also has people being blown up to a point where their bodies just blow up into soup. And they have limbs being blown off and legs being blown off, and you can actually go to these decapitated bodies and look at the bones and the guts spilling out. Or you can actually like stick somebody with let's say a bomb, and you watch their body turn into soup. And on top of that, there's the blood, there's the guts, there's the bad language everywhere in that game. And there are kids who play it, so I don't see why people are complaining that Tracer, who's actually that character I showed before, Tracer's ass is too mature for their audience. Because I see that the gaming kids nowadays have seen much more than a little orange ass in spandex. Now, I understand if she's going to be twerking and you have, like, booty-bouncing physics, then yeah, I can kind of understand that because it's kind of going overboard, but she just turns around and you see her ass. There's nothing that bad about that. So, there are so many things that people try to find and complain about. You know how people are. Everybody, me, you, anyone on the internet, we always find the dumbest things to complain about. As I am with this video, I'm ranting on about people arguing about a butt. But if you come to think about it, the game creators made the game so they can post whatever they want in the game. Now, I believe the game is rated E10 or T for teen, and if so, that's the proper rating system to be disposing such content. As for, let's say, Dragon Ball Z, we're all familiar with the famous anime Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z games are rated T for teen, and in Dragon Ball Z games, we see Frieza getting cut in half, we see blood, and we see Goku getting holes blown through his chest. And that game's rated T for teen. And even sometimes games that's rated E10, like Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, because the one before was rated T for teen. So, Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, that's rated E10. And we're beating the crap out of each other with bombs, guns, fireballs, and explosions. And there are even some stages where your character gets squished and they just pop into a big, bright light. Now, I understand they censor it, so as they did with Bayonetta and Smash, but it's still... what's the word I'm looking for? It's still very juvenile for these people to actually be saying these kind of things about that content. And as I said before, it's the game creators who made this, so they already selected the proper rating for this game. The ESRB already said, hey, this game's rated E10 or T for teen, so they have the okay to go if they want to put some ass shots in there. And on top of that, there are even other characters in Overwatch who are more sexual than Tracer. Like, I'm not too sure on her name, but she is this bluish sniper lady. She seems to be more sexual than Tracer. I understand she's older, but she's still more sexual. So when people begin to complain about this, it's going to be this huge controversy and this huge argument about what we can and can't have in our video games. And I understand video games are a huge topic of discussion nowadays, not only because of YouTube, but because of how advanced they're becoming and how good the graphics are looking. It's this huge subject that people are against and people are not against. And they say, you know, we don't want nudity in our video games. We want our video games to be friendly because our childs and kids play them. But they don't also see that it's the same thing for the movies that the kids can watch when they go to a friend's house. Now, we all know those people who go to friends' houses because their parents don't allow them to watch porn, so they go to the friend's house and they watch, like, rated R movies. We all heard about those stories, and by nowadays, we probably know a couple of kids who do that. You can't really change what's in development with video games if you can't change what's in development in movies. Because nowadays, video games are like movies that you just play. You take part in the video games, so you're more in control in video games as a player than you are in movies as a spectator. And it's kind of mind-boggling, whatever the word is. I'm just tongue-tied right now. It's just amazing how people can find the strangest things to complain about. And, I mean, we all know, when the game comes out, if they have the ass shot, and if they don't have the ass shot, we're gonna play it, and we're gonna enjoy it. But people just find the weirdest things to complain about to try to make change and maybe even have their voice heard in the world, which actually brings me on to another discussion about Pokemon. Now listen to this. You know Blaziken, that fire chicken from Pokemon. He's a very old Pokemon, very common, very top favorite up there with Charizard. Now, Pokken Tournament came out a couple of weeks ago, and Blaziken is a character in Pokken Tournament. Sweet. So, people are complaining that they saw male genitals on Blaziken from Pokken Tournament. There was this mother who was watching her son play Pokken Tournament, and her son selected Blaziken, and she noticed that Blaziken had genitals, a penis and balls. And she complained to the Pokemon Company about that. And I don't know what the Pokemon Company said. I'm pretty sure they're not going to remove it, because if you look at Blaziken's older models, Blaziken doesn't have genitals there. He has tufts of fur. There are both male and female versions of Blaziken, but Blaziken has a higher possibility of being male. So, and even the female versions of Blaziken have that tuft of fur. So, I'm pretty sure that's not a genitals. Not the genitals that we're looking for. So, this woman goes on to this huge argument, and she's saying, like, you know, I'm gonna sue the Pokemon Company for exposing my kid to these genitals, even though the kid has genitals of his own. But just like, I'm gonna expose the Pokemon Company and sue the Pokemon Company for exposing my child to these genitals, and it's not supposed to be in this game if this game's rated E10. And if you actually look at Blaziken, you can look up any version of Blaziken, the 8-bit versions from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, to the most present versions from Pokken Tournament. Blaziken, excuse me, Blaziken doesn't have any balls. He doesn't have a penis. He has feathers. And down there between his legs, you see a tuft of feathers. I don't know if Nintendo's trying to make a sexual joke about it, or if it's just how his feathers happen to be, because, you know, Blaziken has feathers all over his body. He has feathers on his head, and, well, those feathers on his head tend to go downward like hair. So why not give him a little tuft of fur down there, maybe for a little joke, or maybe it's because his legs are always closed, so his feathers kind of plump up. Who knows? But we all know those aren't genitals. So this woman goes on to this huge argument. Nintendo doesn't say anything. She takes away the game from her son. She says, you're never going to play this. But then I'm pretty sure she allows her son to play things like Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto and so on. And we just have to realize the kind of content that we allow our children to play. Because if we're not in control of what our kids play, and we're not aware of the type of content our kids are exposed to, then we have no right to complain about future content that game developers are making for us. But that's the end of the video here. If you liked the video, punch that like button with a mighty force. You can follow me on Twitter at DavontosMan, and as always, I'll see all of you in my next video. Have a nice day.